'cause we got so much history. Here with you is where I'm meant to be. Even after all the pain, I do it all again. 'Cause we got so much history. We got so much history. Wrapped up in these memories.
Yes, people, welcome back to another stream on DJ SINCLAIRO. Today is Premier League Game Week 28. Only 10 games left. Wow, it's gone so quick this season and the year. It's March already. But yeah, 10 more games, so hopefully Arsenal lift the trophy. We're in the England top for a difference today. Obviously, it's the international break. I will be taking a break as well with the international break. I only really want to do Premier League content on this channel. I don't really want to do England content. I don't think we're going to do well. I don't really care if we qualify for the Euros. We're not going to do well in that anyway, but we'll see. But yeah, of course, got some guests today, but obviously, I actually in the background haven't got any Arsenal fans today, which is a bit different. I usually have Arsenal fans. Obviously, just want to big up Manny. I don't think he can join. He's been on. He's usually on, but big up Manny. Elliot, DJ Crate, can't join today. Big up Hannah as well, who did the thumbnail. I need to big him up for that. He always does my thumbnails. Always great thumbnails. Big up Hannah. And also, yeah, big up other people who can't join as well. But we've got some guests, obviously. I'll add them now. Make sure you guys like as well. Make like and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,060 subscribers. Now we're on, I think, 1,053, so 7 away. But let me introduce the guests now. First guest, you guys know me, he's a regular on the channel, of course. In most streams, I think he's only missed 1 or 2 streams. Man United fan, of course, host of Rest Talks Football. It's Arrest, I don't know.
Today, I feel Qatari. Big up, man. Big up, obviously. Good to be back with streams on your channel, man. Big up.
Yep, another Man United fan, obviously. Big up, Toby.
Oh,
Toby, you there? Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yep. Big up.
Toby
big
feels
up, Toby.
Qatari as well.
Yeah, of course I do.
Next up, big up Chelsea fan, obviously from the Added Time podcast. It's JPT. How you doing, mate?
I got to put on Chelsea today as the women's team just beat Lyon. So
what was the score?
1-0. So now we're going back to the not even the bridge. We're going back to London with this little lead. But yeah, I mean, I think these guys need to change their name. Oris needs to change his name to Oris Khalifa and Toby Akbar. Hey, I was close to changing my name if I thought the Saudis were going to take over Chelsea.
Oh, now it's
yeah. And then final guest, of
JBT
course,
Texas.
Big up from Huddersfield Fan TV. It's Ryan. Big up, Ryan. How you doing?
Yeah, big up. Thanks for having me on here.
It's all right.
That's Ryan. Big up.
Big up, Ryan.
Big up. So obviously we're going to start off with Arsenal first. No Arsenal fans to go to. We've all neutrals apart from me. But we'll start with Arrest. So big win for Arsenal. 8 points clear now of Man City. 4-1 win against Crystal Palace. What are your thoughts in the game?
Yeah, Ollie, you're being cheeky. You went with me first, but yeah, listen, good win for Arsenal. I'm just waiting for. I think you guys will get the humble soon, but listen, it was a good win. Obviously, listen, Emma was that manager bounce. For me, Palace, absolutely shocking decision to sack Vieira. You want to sack Vieira, but then bring in 75-year-old Roy Hodgson. Let's go. Let the man go the rest, mate. Let the man by the rest. But listen, I disagree with the sack in my opinion, but yeah, Arsenal got the job done. For me, it looks like Arsenal will win the league now because we're 8 points ahead now, and I don't.
Not Man United.
Yeah, listen, not the next season with the Qatari ownership, but I just think Arsenal. Listen, I hate it, man. I hate when I said that. I think they will, but I mean, I hope they do get obviously drop more points, but I just don't see it from it because they've got. They still got City and Liverpool and others, but I still think, Arsenal will have enough. But I think Palace, they were shocking. I really think that it could be worse for Palace soon now because I don't know if Roy Hodgson can turn these. I know he's only there until the end of the season, but I don't know if he can turn it around, man. I really don't know, but Palace not looking good. Arsenal, they're doing their thing, but I'm just listen. Once that
No.
humble comes, I will be there no matter what. So Arsenal doing their thing.
Yeah, we'll move on to Ryan now. Another good win, obviously, for Arsenal. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, obviously, just what Arsenal needed for sure. You needed that bounce back, of course, and you did. And get a couple of goals, great goals as well. So yeah, good win for you, and that's definitely what you needed. And obviously, having that big gap now, you've got a good cushion. But of course, you don't want to get carried away just yet. You need, obviously, April is going to be obviously a busy month for sure. So, but very good for Arsenal, of course. Palace' point of view, I think I disagree with Orest. I think that you had to get rid of Vieira because look, they hadn't won, in 2023. Not looking at all. One stage going so many minutes without scoring. No attacking threat at all. It was just getting worse in June. So I think it was right to pull the plug when they did. And of course, Roy Hodgson is very experienced and he will come in. He knows the club already. And I do believe if he'll only need to get a couple of wins and Palace are safe, let's be honest. So I think that he can definitely do that. And I do think it was the correct decision. But Palace didn't really do much in this game at all. But obviously it's always tricky going to the Emirates. But good win for Arsenal and see what happens after the international break now.
Yep. Moving on to you now, Toby. As I said, everyone's saying good win for Arsenal. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, of course, it's a good win for Arsenal. Obviously, they're actually showing that they are, a champion material. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Able to to surprise critics every week, so it shows the ambition to go out there to win the league. You look at the match against Crystal Palace. Obviously Arsenal dominated. They dominated the game, and of course more chances, and the players like Martinelli, players like Saka, they stepped up to the occasion, and when the opportunity came, they were able to to score. Of course Saka was brilliant, Martinelli was brilliant. So it's just unfortunate that Crystal Palace could not find a win. They've had a couple of let's say bad moments, and like Ryan rightly said, they've not won. I don't think they've won in 2023. So it's kind of justifiable. Sacking Patrice Vieira is kind of justifiable, but let's see. But regardless, against Arsenal, they still had some bits of chances. I think Zaha, with Zaha, was able to, his shot unfortunately hit the post, and he was very unlucky. And the goal came from a set piece for Crystal Palace. So it's more like they tried. They tried to give their all, and it's kind of paid off for them because they found a goal at least, which is very important, but it's still not enough considering Arsenal and the caliber of team that Arteta has set up at this point. So of course they are clear favorites to win the Premier League. So let's see how they go from now.
Yeah. And then of course finally moving on to you, JPT, what are your thoughts on the Arsenal 4 Crystal Palace 1?
Very convincing and also much needed win from Arsenal, not based on just by keeping that 5-point lead from City, but also just a statement to make sure that okay, they lost to Sporting, they're going to take their frustrations out on their next opponent and happen to be them. And yeah, it made the most sense to sack Vieira at this point. So I know they're with their caretaker right now, and they just appointed Roy Hodgson not long ago, but I think the timing just worked out for them because they are not that far from the relegation zone, and I think their next 6 matches are all teams that are fighting relegation as well. So this is going to become at a crucial time. I think Wolves, Southampton, Everton.
Yeah.
I can't think of all of them on the top of my head. I had it all in front of me, but it is what it is. But I think this is what's going to save Palace to keep them in the Premier League.
Yeah, we'll go through the comments. We've got a few comments. Big up everyone in the comments. Big up Hashim. He says big up, mate. I did say here, I just want to say sorry for being late. Obviously, we were just waiting for a few people. Big up True Gunner. He says, hello, lads. Big up, mate. Big up the Don Jones in the chat. Big up Graham. He says, big up Ollie in the panel. Still a way to go, but rides on the away games. True, yeah, we've got a lot of tough away games. Liverpool away, Man City away, Newcastle away. So it's going to get
West
tough.
Ham away.
West Ham away, yeah. But we've got a few home games that we should win. Leeds, I mean, Chelsea's going to be tough. We could possibly get something from that, though. And then Graham says, anyway, apparently Man United were winning the league according to Reds.
Listen, Graham, you said Ericsson won't join Man United. How about that, Graham, mate? Listen, we're Man United. I don't want to Man United.
Yeah, finally moving on to my thoughts. Good win for Arsenal, of course. 8 points clear now, and going into the national break as well, which is good. We've got Leeds next, should be winning that. And if Man City lose against Liverpool, could possibly, I think they're without Haaland, then we could go 11 points clear, which would be great for us. But we still got some tough games coming up, so it's going to be, we've got Liverpool away, we've got Man City away. Liverpool away is our next game. I'll rest rattled. He says, but good win, good 4 goals, obviously. Martinelli, Saka getting a brace as well. Saka doing well. Big up your channel as well, Rest, he says. So obviously, guys, we've got 4 viewers. Make sure if you aren't already, go like the video. We're 1 away from 10 likes. And if you are new, make sure you do subscribe, obviously, on the road to 1,060. So we're getting there to 1,100. Try and get there soon. Comment here from Hashim says, Chelsea ain't tough. You will destroy us unless we suddenly do what we did versus Spurs to take a trophy away from them. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we don't have Hazard, so I don't know where we're going to get that from.
Yeah. All right, since we've got so away from the Premier League now, but since we've got a lot of United fans, we'll move on to them. Beating Fulham 3-1 in the FA Cup, obviously big, three red cards in the game. Goodness, and they turned it around from a 1-0 down. We'll obviously start off with the United fans. We'll start off for you, Arrest. And through to semi-finals now, through to Wembley again, beating Fulham 3-1. What are your thoughts on the game, man? Good win.
Yeah, good win. To be fair with you, before the red card thing, our performance for me, we did not, we deserved to lose. Well, obviously before those 3 goals, but for me, we did not look like us. Our performance for me, we did not look like winning, because once they scored, I don't know, we didn't even react. So performance for me, it wasn't that good. But listen, we got the win. Obviously, now here's what I don't get. Obviously, Chris Kavanagh goes to the VR screen and stuff. Well, Mark Silva, I don't know why he's complaining, because it's a clear handball. I don't know why he was complaining. So he got a red card, and then Chris Kavanagh made his mind to give the penalty. Then Mitrovic, I'm sorry, but you cannot grab a referee's arm like that. And then obviously for me, he deserved that red card. And for me, obviously, I'm seeing someone saying that he might get a 10-game ban. I mean, would I say it's too much? Probably yes and no. But listen, you can't. Obviously, there's a lot of rival fans saying, "Oh, Mitrovic got a red card for that, but Bruno didn't." But the thing is, Bruno, the official touched Bruno first, and then obviously that's why Bruno didn't get sent off. But Mitrovic just deserved it, and obviously Willian, red card. To be fair, Willian was very good before that red card. He had a good performance. So we got the 3 goals. Obviously, it's good to see Bruno scoring those 2 goals. And yeah, we're through to the semi-final. Wembley again. Are we going to win the FA Cup? Maybe.
Come on, City.
Brighton will not be an easy game, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. 10-0 for me. Listen, he's doing a fantastic job, man. Honestly, from where we was last season to now, he's changed everything. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the players. For me, it's just there's a lot of for me. Now I like the international break now, because this international break came at the right time for us, because Bruno looked tired. Rashford looked tired. Well, thank God Rashford pulled out, by the way.
Is he injured, Rashford?
No, he's not injured. Ten Hag did what Ferguson used to do before. So Ten Hag, thank you for that, mate.
Why did Rashford pull out then?
Small injury.
Of course.
To be fair, If he is actually injured, then hopefully he comes back. But
Yeah, he'll come
I
back.
think he's just done this to get a break. So for me, yeah, I'm happy, man. Semi-final, Wembley again. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yep. Other United fan, of course. Let's move on to you, Toby. Now, what's your thoughts on the game? Good win for you guys.
Yeah, it was a good win actually, and we definitely needed to win the match, of course.
Yeah.
But you look at performance wise, we were not there actually. Fulham had
Mm.
they dominated us in almost 45 minutes of the first half, if not 45 minutes. But I think the second half made a difference, and I think Manchester United was able to, they played their cards well and they used,
Yeah.
Fulham's emotions to get to them. How do I mean? You know, they scored, Mitrovic scored, then obviously we were like, it's over. Because myself, I was like, it's over, considering the kind of performance we put out there, which was not impressive at all. Like it wasn't. Then, a couple of minutes, everybody went they lost their heads, that the Fulham players lost their heads, especially when Anthony came in. Anthony changed the game. Obviously, I think the substitution or the change which Ten Hag made was very, very impressive. Anthony came into the picture and the game changed actually. Then there was this true ball he gave to Sancho, and of course, Sancho did very well. Though he should have shot the ball, taking the ball into the back of the net. But of course, he had to do some dribbles, and sadly, Willian was the culprit of it all, and he considered a handball, and it was a penalty. So I really don't know why, or we really don't know why Mitrovic had to overreact, because it was a clear penalty, and obviously there was no need to check the VAR, but the referee just had to check the VAR, and it was unprofessional from Marco Silva, to yell at the referee, which was not. It was very, very unprofessional, because it was a clear handball. So you don't need to yell at the referee. You understand? And of course, the red card
Yeah.
for Marco Silva was very deserving, very, very deserving. And what I don't understand is why Mitrovic had to yell. And I can understand his worries, because he felt he was tackled wrongly by Lisandro Martinez, which was not a penalty. He went down in the box and expected the referee to do something, which obviously was not a penalty. It was a clear tackle. Martinez went for the ball. So
Yeah.
he allowed his emotions get to him, and of course, he held the referee. And if the referee was not cautious enough, probably he would have even headbutted the referee, and probably the referee would have gone down. That would have been a very disastrous incident.
Yeah.
You understand? So it was, we took advantage of that situation. We took advantage of that situation of the red card, and the performance was from the moment Willian and Mitrovic got off the pitch. I think we performed better, but obviously people will say it's 11 against maybe 8 or 9 players, if you know what I mean. So, but regardless, if we put up that same performance against Brighton, trust me, we'll get slapped up. If you
Yeah.
know what I mean. And but let's see how it goes. It was not an impressive performance, but at the end of the
No.
day, it's the win that's more important. So let's see how it goes going forward.
Yeah. Moving on to you now, Ryan. Obviously, good win for United through to the semis now against Brighton. Of course, what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, obviously I did watch the game, and of course, obviously I agree with what Orest and Toby say, obviously, about the performance from United. I think they look very flat, very tired, maybe. Not themselves, it wasn't, and before the first red card, of course, I didn't really see a way of how Man United was going to get back into it. They didn't look like they were going to do. But of course, that moment of madness from Fulham, like I say, it was a definite penalty. I'm not sure what William was doing there, to be honest with you. He probably would have been better off letting the goal in rather than doing what he did, because then obviously he wouldn't have, maybe caused the rest of the things. But Marco Silva, you can't do that on the touchline. Very poor from him, really, to be honest with you. And then Mitrovic, of course, he's known for this, isn't he, Mitrovic? This disciplinary issue, and he's a great a great player is Mitrovic, but he does let himself down with his behaviour at times. And yeah, you can't do that to the referee. You just can't, and there's no excuses for it, is it really? So, you can't argue with the decisions. And of course, then Man United managed to get the job done then, which of course was made easier. It did swing it in their favour, of course. But yeah, like I say, a win is a win for United. And obviously, they're through to the semi-finals. But yeah, they need to perform better than that, and they know they do. But of course, this international break now, see what happens after the international break now. But yeah, a win's a win, and Fulham. I feel sorry for the Fulham fans actually, because they travelled all that way, and you don't expect to see your team behave in that manner, really, including the manager. So very, very poor, and they have to learn a lot from this. But yeah, great win for United, and they move on to the semi-finals, where it'll be an interesting game as well.
Yep, of course. Yeah, that's all right, JPT. So JPT, finally moving on to you. Man United, Fulham, they're through to the semis now. Obviously, a lot of everyone's agreed that Man United didn't play well. What are your thoughts on the game? You're muted, JPT.
So I thought that left it unmuted. Yeah, no, agreed. They were not really convincing. Everything changed once the red card happened, but I would give a big shout out to De Gea, because if he didn't save that second header goal from Mitrovic, that man, y'all need to make a still frame of that one, because that I think would have made the difference of Fulham making it through and avoiding all these red card mishaps. But I just don't get it. So yeah, red card happened, rightfully so. I think it was Sancho that was gonna score for that one that was blocked, but so it's a red card. Silva needs to control his. You're the leader of this team. You're the manager. You are responsible for what's happening to keep your composure. But what I don't understand is Mitrovic, after he's gone to VAR, after seeing all these replays, high definition 8K cameras, and you still have the audacity to grab the official. It's it's not the same thing as Bruno Fernandes as having a tap on the ref or the sideline ref from whatever match that occurred in. But it's not the same, and that's the thing. Especially when you have a tank like Mitrovic versus Bruno. Even if it was like that, the ref would have whooped Bruno's ass in that. But Mitrovic, that's a tank, and you can't do that. 10-game ban might be a little too harsh, but we need to set an example. But they can't. A lot of the controversy, I think, was that now they're going to try to make an example out of Mitrovic because of what happened with Bruno. I don't think that's really the case. One incident that happened before isn't going to justify to make up for what happened with Mitrovic. But if United go this way versus Brighton, they're not going to go to the final. I don't see them. It'll most likely be Brighton versus City, which will be an amazing final regardless. If we see a Manchester derby, it was still going to be a great thing to watch. But who knows? If United go full strength, don't be surprised if not we're going to see that derby. But yeah, United did well to respond and to score within a minute after the red card or a play resumed. Yeah. So respect to United, and so Ali, I do have to go, man. I'm at already 5 minutes over my break.
All right. Do you not have time to talk about the Chelsea game or not?
I really don't. I mean, I'll say this. Potter, look, this is the last time you're gonna mess with. But we were taking the lead. Stop playing defensive. We are not gonna try to park the bus. But we'll see if he finally just stops tinkering mid game and just because we were on the way to beat Everton, but regardless, Everton held their own with Sean Dyche. Screw you. But
JPT, quickly shout out your socials before you have to go.
All right, no problem. So the Out of Time Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, Out of Time PC on Twitter. Try to be more active on that, and shout out to everyone here, and shout out to everyone who saw my Instagram post of the RVA magazine, shouting out the Richmond podcasts that are coming up. So big thank you for everyone here, much appreciated, and of course subscribe to everyone on this panel, and thank you again, Ollie.
Yeah, big up, JPT.
Yeah, big up, bro.
Big up,
bro.
Big up. Thanks for joining, JPT. Big up, man. If anyone wants to join, by the way, I'll put the link in the chat, or I'll DM me if I have on Instagram. We got enough time to add people and stuff like that. So if you want to join, okay, we'll move on now. What game should we talk about next? All right, let's all laugh at Spurs lose drawing 3-3 to Southampton.
Conte. More like gone.
Yeah.
Conte, gone.
All right, do you want to start off then? Thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, thing is, it's the history of the Tottenham, man. Clearly said it way before. But now for me, yeah, what Conte said after the game, I don't think he said anything, anything bad. But for me, he's got to start to take some accountability, man. That's what Conte doesn't do, and for me, he needs to, he needs to put some of his blame, because yes, there's players that are dreadful. Absolutely. How is Højbjerg still a Spurs player? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
But for me, listen, Spurs, they've capitulated, man. So 3-1 up. And then last 10 minutes, you had to hold on, and then 3-3. So that's for me. That's on the players as well, because mentally, it just showed mentally they can't hold on to a lead. So yeah, it looks like Conte will be gone this week. For me, I think the main issue will still be Levy, man. This, for me, if he still remains, it's still going to be even way worse for Tottenham fans. But he's the main issue at the club. But yeah, it's not looking good for Tottenham Football Club, and I reckon they'll probably get Luis Enrique, or they might probably. I'm seeing that they might keep Brian Mason.
They might get Poch back. Do you think that? Pochettino?
For me, getting Poch back, I want to. Under Levy again, I don't know, because I think Pochettino, I think he would come back if he knows that he is guaranteed to be back. But yeah, I think it's going to be an intense situation, because obviously it came at the right time, because if they do Conte, they will have a week or so to think who the next manager would be. So it's not looking good, but. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say, man. Very bad situation.
Yeah. Moving on to you now, Ryan. Obviously, Spurs, not a very good result. Southampton, they're bottom of the league.
Don't laugh, Ollie. Don't laugh at that, Ollie, because, listen, Southampton are fighting down there. Of course, they've not had a good season. Of course, they're lacking that quality. But I hate that saying of there's an easy game. And, of course, it was at St. Mary's. And Southampton... fighting for their lives, and it didn't surprise me about them getting back into it. However, Tottenham have to see out the game at 3-1, of course. It really is poor. Now, if you look at the goal they conceded as well, Tottenham, come on, it's just the manager is nothing to do with, that penalty that they gave away was absolutely terrible. And of course, the goal, looking at the goals, I mean, these players have to take responsibility. And as for Conte's outburst after the game, I agree with everything he said. I back Conte, to be honest with you. I'm on Conte's side because, look, he is a man that is very passionate. He's a winner. Of course, when you've got a culture at Tottenham where they don't, at the top anyway, when they're not bothered about winning, to be honest, let's be honest with you. Now, people can criticise Conte all they want, but he did actually take responsibility. Because if you remember what he said in the interview, he did actually say, obviously, that he does get paid a lot of money. His staff get paid, the player, So he did have that accountability that I believe he's not saying he's not to blame either, because, of course, it is everything. But, I don't blame. If Conte gets sacked, then fair enough. I don't think he cares, to be fair, because Levy's a disgrace. It doesn't matter. And we're talking about next managers for Tottenham. I mean, it doesn't matter who comes in. Because the reality is, when you go to Tottenham, you are set up to fail. That's as far as I'm concerned. You are set up to fail. And to be honest with you, Levy's the one that needs to go. I think he's a disgrace. And Conte, full respect from me for what he said. But going back to the game, obviously, Spurs, that's an awful, felt like a loss, of course, 3-1 up, 3-1 up and losing that. But fair play to Southampton. They're down there fighting, trying to get out of this situation, and they do deserve my respect as well, because Of course, they was allowed back into the game, but they still took them opportunities. So, and I think they will be very tight down there, of course, come the end of the season. But yeah, Spurs absolutely awful. But this man who comes in, this will continue and continue until Levy decides to go, and I can't see that anytime soon because because he will be just stubborn and he will just stick and just try and make as much money as well. But anyway, I'm waffling on. But yeah, Conte, I back Conte. Well said, Conte, and that's all I've got to say. Yeah,
you back Conte. So you don't think Conte will get sacked, right? Or
no, I am on Conte's side. I think he will get sacked. The reality is, when you do come out and say stuff like that, then you are going to get sacked. But he stayed true to himself, and he was right to say everything he said because everything he said was correct, and Levy knows it.
Yeah, and then finally,
that's why Levy's gonna sack Conte because Levy he doesn't like when people talk about him. So
he doesn't like the truth, Forrest. He doesn't like the truth, and he's just a snake.
Who talked about Levy?
Basically, Conte questioned because he said 20 years of this ownership and there hasn't been no trophy. So listen, Conte is right, man. But see, this like the Glazers, man. Levy reminds me of the Glazers. Like Glazers, they don't like people talking about them. That's why obviously Ragnick. That's why he left because as soon as Ragnick talked about the board and stuff, Glazers they didn't like that. So anyway, yeah, back to Toby.
Yeah, Toby. Finally, moving on to you. Spurs 3, Southampton 3. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, there are two perspectives that one can actually use to analyze that game. The first perspective is from the fact that Spurs is a better team, and we expect more from Spurs, from Tottenham. They're supposed to go all in to win that game because they have the quality. They have more quality compared to Southampton. And if you look at it from the other perspective, this is the time for the fight to avoid relegation, if you know what I mean. So teams battling out, teams trying to fight out relegation right now. This is the time, this is the season, this is the point in time where we'll start seeing some top performances. Of course, we can see something similar to that of Chelsea, Everton, whereby Everton came out to draw the game. So, but in totality of whatever I'm going to say right now, much was expected from Tottenham because they are a better team. And you look at their run before they played Southampton. They were in a good run, and of course, it was like a smoke screen because obviously that is what it is. Looking at their performances, winning, being on a streak at least, and coming down to St. Mary's to bottle up the lead, which is quite it's humiliating and demoralizing. And of course, being 3-1 up close to the end of the match and unfortunately conceding two extra goals, it's unacceptable. And I can actually understand Conte's fears and his worries. You look at the goals they conceded, very cheap goals, and the players should have done better, defensively. And like I said, everybody understands and everybody supports Antonio Conte because it seems the players, they care less. They don't care. Like they forget the fact that they are professionals. They have to do better. Of course, they have to do better. Much is expected from them. The intensity. And if you look at what Conte said, he indirectly said the players cannot adapt to the attacking football. They cannot adapt to the intensity in pressing, if you know what I mean, the intense pressing and intense attacking football. But I think we can actually look at it from another side, actually, because you as a manager, you keep adopting the 3-5-2 system. You keep adopting a system, playing three at the back, and you see it's not working. It's not working, obviously. But you should actually try and see how you can, as a manager, of course, you have to be creative. You have to be spot on in your tactical, in your tactics and all of that. Try and, adopt a system that can suit the existing players you have, the kind of players you have. That is what I was expecting from Conte, because where you'll be able to know a manager who is spot on. Of course, a manager can be known for a particular system, a particular game plan, or a tactics. But how do you make do of the kind of players you have? And that's what makes Ten Hag. That's what makes Ten Hag stand out from every other manager. Because you look at Manchester United, the system, the kind of team that was on ground, and Ten Hag came into the picture, and he had to adapt a system. That's what makes him stand out. He had to adapt a system that will suit the kind of players he have, or that is on ground. If you know what I mean. Pending when you know the summer comes in and he starts building his team. But for Conte, that was expected from him to do, rather than
Yeah.
complaining. That is from that perspective, if you know what I mean. But obviously, Daniel Levy is to be blamed because, regardless, like Ryan rightly said, no matter the manager that comes into Spurs, they will still have the same problems. Football heritage, like Jose Mourinho said, obviously, and Mourinho said this. Now Conte is saying the same thing. So it shows that there's a problem. There's a big problem. And Conte said it. It's not about being sacked. You sack a manager today, another one comes tomorrow, they'll still face the same problem. Daniel Levy cannot spend. He doesn't want to spend reasonably, spend rationally, which is the problem. And he does not support his manager. Tottenham is one of the best football stadium in the world, of course. If they are not the best actually. Multifaceted in that, not just football, for footballing activities. It could be for boxing, it could be for whatever we can talk about. We expect more from Tottenham. We expect more from Daniel Levy. So that Southampton game, drawing 3-3, was an absolute disgrace. And of course, the next manager coming into Tottenham, I think, will actually try to adopt the Eric Ten Hag style. How do I mean? Before you get into the club, you have to sign a contract. You have to. It has to be a clause in your contract that before I accept this job, you have to give me that assurance that I'm going to have 100% say in terms of transfer activities. I have to have, a say in terms of who comes in terms of who comes out. I have to have a say in this or that. That should be the kind of, the way forward for Spurs. Because if a manager comes in blindly, gets enticed by the money Levy decides to pay, because Conte says they pay us a lot of money. They pay us a lot of money. The players' money, the managers' money. So the incoming manager should know it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's all about knowing what exactly the clause, the contracts. Okay, I'm coming into the club. Okay, I gotta have a say. I gotta have a say on transfers. I gotta have a say on this. I gotta have a say on that. Rather than just being used by Daniel Levy, obviously, if you know what I mean. So it's a total shamble, actually. But if you're looking at it from, like I said when I started, from two sides, obviously we expect, you don't expect Southampton to lose because they're actually fighting for relegation, from that sense. But you look at it from the other sense, Tottenham supposed to win because they have enough quality to win. You see them 3-1 up, bottling the league. Bottling the chances, and of course their lead is unacceptable. It's questionable. So Conte could get sacked, but the big question is: will Spurs get a manager, who will turn things around, and will they get a manager who will, who be able to think ahead and say, Jose Mourinho had problems, Conte had problems, even before Mourinho. Was it Nuno Espirito?
Yeah.
Had problems, of course. So you start looking at the track record, the kind of managers, and it shuts them. They don't last. They didn't last aside Pochettino. So the Spurs problem is a big problem, obviously. And trust me, the chances of qualifying for the top four there's still a big question mark. So let's see how it goes. And how I really feel sorry for the Tottenham fans right now because
I think Spurs. I think that Toby. I think they should appoint Mark Carrick. I think I want to see how he does that.
No,
No.
Carrick will ruin his career if he goes.
Exactly.
For now,
exactly. I agree with Ryan. Yes.
Yeah.
He's gonna ruin his career.
Why not?
All right.
He's not ready.
No.
He's not ready.
No.
He's not ready.
What about
No way.
Company? Maybe Company might go there.
Nah, he's all right at Burnley, mate. He's all right at Burnley.
I just trust
Burnley.
me. I think what I saw today is they have 4 candidates. So they got apparently they're looking at Thomas Tuchel, which for me, I don't.
Yeah, that'd
see.
be.
They're looking at what's his name again?
Pochettino,
Pochettino. They're looking at Luis Enrique,
Luis
and
Enrique.
they're looking at Ryan Mason. Those are the four candidates. So honestly,
Who's Ryan Mason?
You might as well get Ryan Mason in. You might as well keep him on. To be honest, it doesn't make a difference, honestly.
Oh, is he the caretaker?
yeah, he's the assistant. He's the assistant manager of Conte.
Right,
Yeah.
assistant.
He used to play for Tottenham, anyways. I think his story is quite sad because he had to end his career. But for me, Luis Enrique, I don't think he'll do that well at Tottenham, man, because he would want.
He's gonna be. Yeah, he's gonna be another Conte because obviously he's gonna request for 300 million.
Want
Close to
request
300 million.
backing for signing that. So for me,
Yeah.
Who does Luis Enrique manage, or is he not managed anymore?
Spain, I think.
Oh, Spain.
Oh no, but no. Oh yeah, I forgot Spain sacked him. So he right now.
Oh, right.
Yeah, right
He doesn't
now,
have it. Yeah.
No, he doesn't have a club. He doesn't have it.
He used to manage a club, didn't he? What match did he use?
He used to.
I think Barcelona.
Oh no,
Barcelona,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We'll just go
Warnock,
through
Warnock maybe.
Boost Spurs. Big up Added
He's going back. He's going back to retirement after this season.
Wouldn't matter as long as Levy is there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He doesn't.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've hit 10 likes. Ignore this comment now. Big up everyone for getting 10 likes. Big up. Let's try and get 20 likes, maybe. I mean, probably not. 15, maybe. All right. All right. So, obviously,
Are we
we've
not
talked
going to talk
about.
about how Arsenal got knocked out in the Europa League, Ollie?
No, we're not talking about. We talked about Man United, Chelsea. You know what I'm gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna do something different here. For Ryan, we're gonna talk about Huddersfield.
Yes!
Why?
Up the terrace!
Huddersfield finally winning a game after five winning. Ryan, just for you, obviously, because we always talk about the Premier League.
Yes.
Back to winning ways against Millwall. Let's get your thoughts on the game.
Yeah. Well, wow. Well, I didn't expect this. I don't think anybody did, actually. Going to Millwall, of course, very difficult place to go. But actually, we got it spot on. Now, I was very critical of the lineup when it came out.
Yeah.
And I stick by what I stick by what I said. And the reality, the ironic thing is, once Wagon went off, we actually played better. Which, if that doesn't say anything, it's. But anyway, it was a difficult game, of course. They've actually had a fantastic game in net, of course, making a few saves. The defensively was a lot better, of course. Healy and Lees were just outstanding for sure. But yeah, obviously the goal, great goal actually. Danny Ward back on the score sheet, first goal since October. So hopefully that will really help him now. And of course, it really does give us a boost going into this international break because, to be honest with you, after the last few results, I'd kind of lost hope that we could stay up, to be honest with you. But
we're going to stay up, be positive, come on.
Yeah, I know, but after this result, I do feel a bit better. But it's still going to be a tall order. But yeah, Warnock got it spot on, great. But like I say, we hung on there for sure. And obviously 7 minutes added on at the end, it felt like forever. But we managed to do that. And to be honest with you, I've never been so happy to see an international break because it just gives the players a chance to have a rest after this really hectic period, in the Championship. It's just relentless.
Yeah.
So it gives them time to rest and recover. And let's go again on April the 1st, of course, back at home. Middlesbrough. We take on Middlesbrough. It's not going to be easy, but...
Are you going to the game?
Of course, yeah, of course. Yeah. I've got to see but
Millwall are third, so it's going to be a tough game for you guys, but...
No, but I think it just proves, though, that it doesn't... In the Championship, it doesn't matter where you are in the league. Anybody's capable of beating anybody. Look at Millwall, obviously, 6th in the table, us at the bottom. Nobody gave us a chance. But we managed to pull something out there. So I know it's going to be tricky against Middlesbrough, but we've just got to focus on ourselves, play to the best we can, and just hopefully we get a bit of luck and get snatch a win. Michael Carrick, go easy on us in this one, please.
Wait,
Please.
does Michael Carrick manage
Yeah, he
Middlesbrough?
does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
does.
doing
Right.
he's doing a superb job there.
Yeah.
But listen,
Your rivals for relegation
Ollie,
kind
come
of
to me
playing
for
Swansea
Huddersfield,
next.
Ollie,
Come on, Swansea.
come to me. Come to about Huddersfield.
Oh, you want to talk about
We
Huddersfield?
are
Right.
They are
All
staying
right,
up.
you talk about Huddersfield.
Terriers
Yeah,
are
come on, they're
staying
staying up, Ryan. Come on.
Danny Ward. Listen,
He
as long
made
as
one sub
Waghorn,
and he was the goal.
as long as Waghorn doesn't start bro. For me, that's gonna be a huge game. I
He's
reckon.
injured though, isn't he? Waghorn?
Yeah, I think
Wagon's injured now, so hopefully it's a bit.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this, but hopefully it'll keep him out for a few weeks. But yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough
Yeah.
game. But listen, Huddersfield are staying up, man. They are. I think this win will give them a boost. I think, to be honest, I think it'll be a draw against Middlesbrough. And
I'm not getting carried away. I'm not getting carried away because we saw what happened against Birmingham. We won that game, and then we went back to our old ways. The next few games,
Yeah.
it's been terrible ever since. So we have to. Except, you know what? This result is massive, of course, but we have to show the consistency now to get out of this.
Yeah.
And we have to just be consistent with it. So let's just see what happens. But I pray we stay up, and I hope Cardiff go down because
I want to see
Yeah,
Humble
Cardiff, come on,
start. I want to
Cardiff.
see I want
Swansea
to see
better.
I want to see Humble start more, man, because he's been on the bench recently. So I want to see more. But
strange. I mean,
Who's Hamble?
Humble, he's on loan from Watford. So, and also
Oh, Hungo, yeah.
we need to see
Midfield.
Knockout. What's going on, Knockout, man? This little injury
Knockouts.
that
No, I think Knockout's retired. We just don't know. But yeah,
Who's
that is
Knockout?
useful. Yeah, useless signing.
Who is he?
Danny Ward. Knockout. He's from on loan from what club again?
He's played for Leicester and seems like Fulham. He's a very
Where's he
good player
from?
in the Premier League.
Oh, he's from France. Yeah, Knockouts. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So
no, Fulham. Oh,
Fulham, yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
he hasn't played a
Obviously,
game for Fulham.
actually, that keeper brilliant. I think he's been brilliant for Huddersfield, man. I think
Yeah,
he's quite a few clean
Yeah.
sheets. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. So we just need to find the goals, and we need to defensively not make them stupid errors. Don't make stupid mistakes. And I just pray we stay. It's going to be a tense. It's going to be a tense end to the season.
You've
though.
got
It's
some
gonna go-
tough games though, haven't you, coming up?
We
So it's not
have,
gonna be
but
easy.
I don't see any. For how I see it is, I see that every game is an opportunity, and I go back to it. The championship is so unpredictable. Anybody can beat anybody in this league, so I don't see them as tough games. I just see them as one. We've got to take it one game at a time, and there is enough games there. If you look at the points we've got to get the points potential we need. We're probably going to need about. I'd say to stay up, we need about 46, 48 points. I'm presuming maybe 48 points, so we do 46, 48.
So about 12 more points.
Yeah, so we need a couple of wins and a couple of draws. And I do fancy either Rotherham or Cardiff to go on a losing run.
Cardiff.
Come on, Swansea against Cardiff.
Yeah.
And also Wigan got deducted 3 points. I know they're below us, but they did get.
That's very good for Huddersfield. Very
That
good.
kind of cuts them adrift a bit now. So it's a shootout between us and Blackpool to try and get out of this, really. So we'll just have to see. But really happy with the win. It was nice to actually have a win and actually know what a win feels like. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving on now. We'll probably there's a few more games to go through. We won't talk about all of them. We'll start off. We'll go with.
Maybe
Aston
Toby
Villa.
wants to talk about Huddersfield, man. Toby, did you want to
He
talk
doesn't
about
know about
Huddersfield?
it, does he?
Nah,
That's fine.
I don't watch Championship.
No,
That's fine.
he doesn't watch Championship. Yeah. All right. Moving on to Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 0. Now we'll start with your arrest. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, good win for Villa. They had to win this game.
Yeah.
Especially at home, so it was a good win for them. Obviously Bournemouth, they just came back from beating Liverpool. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Bournemouth, will they go down? I reckon it's gonna be intense, man. Because this, I don't know if you've seen the table, but from 12th to 18th, there's the point difference is crazy.
6 or 5. I think.
Yeah, so it's actually crazy. So it's gonna be, I reckon towards the last game, relegation battle is gonna be absolute immense. But yeah, good win for Villa. Obviously, I think they came back. I think last week, I think they drew a loss. So yeah, they had to win against Bournemouth. So I think Bournemouth, all they have to
They
do is
drew,
yeah, they drew. So I think Bournemouth, they have to pick themselves up really. But no, it was a good win for Villa, especially at home.
Yeah, and then moving on to Ryan, good win for Villa, obviously 3-0 against Bournemouth. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, Bournemouth coming into this game off on the back of that big win against Liverpool. Like, I did think maybe they would at least get a draw in this one. In fact, I wanted them to win, of course, because I do like Bournemouth. It's nice to see a smaller club doing well in the Premier League for sure. But yeah, I think the early goal for Villa really did set the tone in this one, unfortunately. Once they went 1-0 behind early on, 7th minute, Bournemouth could have done with, not conceding so early, really. But unfortunately, they did. And yeah, they didn't really provide that, that kind of confidence they need to get into the game. But obviously, Villa, once they go in front, it's hard to get, back in front kind of thing. So, yeah, Bournemouth will just have to go again. But the problem is they do need to find a bit of consistency, and they are very, very inconsistent. I know that Villa Park is a difficult place to go, but yeah, it's one of those. I think that they're going to have to just go again after the international break, and hopefully be able to pull. Because I do want Bournemouth to stay up, but yeah, good win for Villa. But yeah. Bournemouth will be the goals were very, very poor really from Bournemouth's perspective. If you look at the goals that they conceded, really they weren't anything. Sometimes you go into you get concede goals and you just think, wow, you can't do anything about those. But for me, every goal they conceded was avoidable, which is probably the most disappointing thing for Bournemouth. But yeah, good win for Villa, and Bournemouth will just have to move on to the next one. But yeah.
All right, before we move on to Toby, Man United set to beat Chelsea in transfer race. England wonder kid in Red Devils and Vance talk. Arrest will be happy. Is he talking about Jude Bellingham?
No. I think it's something about. I forgot what was the name, but yeah. I'll just wait until reliable sources come out because there's been a lot of transfers. The thing is, I don't get this. Listen, we haven't got new owner yet, so I do not believe all these transfers. Because listen, I'll wait until once our owner's confirmed, then I'll wait. I don't know why on earth. Listen, with United, there's always transfer speculation. We're always linked with everyone, so I'm not surprised. Now I wouldn't read too much into this, man, because we still haven't got a new owner yet.
Yeah, another comment here. He said, Watford LB.
Left back.
Oh, who is it? Wait, let me see who it is.
Yeah, but
when are you going to get your owner's arrest? When are you going to get them?
Well, 9 p.m. in 2 minutes is the deadline, and they've already bidded Ratcliffe, and obviously it came out like 20 minutes ago. So Ratcliffe and Al Tani Sheikh Jason they've already set out their bids before the 9 p.m. deadline. So I think, listen, it wouldn't surprise me if Glazers would want to go into another third race because, yeah, listen, these Glazers, man, they want to. I'm seeing that they're already planning to go for another third race. So listen, just stop being greedy and accept the highest offer, man. Because they're really starting to annoy me. And you know what? Obviously, Kava from Sky Sports says the Glazers they wouldn't care if. They wouldn't care about the fans' reaction if they stay. So it just shows that. Listen, to be fair, they didn't care on the 18 years that they were at the club. So for me, we need to get a new owner, man. I don't want us to go into another third race, man. Just accept the highest bid and then move on because honestly, you're annoying United fans, and the more time you waste, the more chance we'll seeing at the stadiums. And listen, we'll do a protest, man. If they keep annoying us and keep doing these 3 races, 4 races, 5 races, listen. No one be surprised if United plan to do a protest soon because honestly, it's getting quite annoying, man. Just accept the high bid and stop being greedy as always.
Yeah. Moving on to Toby, finally about the Aston Villa game against Bournemouth. Good win for Aston Villa, of course. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, of course. It's a good win actually, and Bournemouth I think at the start of the season they were kind of impressive. So I don't know what happened that they just fell out of form. But playing against Villa, I think Villa have more quality than Bournemouth. And like Ryan rightly said, you look at the kind of goals they conceded, it was absolutely shocking. Most goals conceded, I think it was from set pieces. But you look at Aston Villa, trust me, they have quality. They have quality, and they have. I think the first goal was scored by Douglas Luiz. Brilliant guy. Trust me, he's a good player, very talented, and of course, you look at Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey. I think he gave an assist to Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz scored. Then there is the Ramsey. They really hurt Bournemouth, but the unfortunate thing was that Bournemouth had a chance to at least score. But I think from a free kick score, taken by Billing, but unfortunately he got saved. But the truth is, Aston Villa. I'm glad for them. They've not really been impressive this season, to be fair. And scoring three against Bournemouth, who obviously shamed Liverpool after the 7-0 trashing of Manchester United. It shows that at least Aston Villa they did a good job. It's
Yeah.
shocking. Villa Bournemouth couldn't carry on that momentum, because when you beat a team like Liverpool, the expectation is for you to carry on. The expectation is for you to get that momentum from from the previous match. You carry it on to the next match, but unfortunately it didn't happen that way. But kudos to Villa for claiming all 3 points, because you want to weigh both teams. You say obviously Villa have the better squad and they have a better manager. So let's see how it goes from here. Because Villa, they have to be very, if they want to make Europe, of course, they have to start winning their games right now. So we are actually entering into a very difficult phase now once the international break is over. So let's see how it goes from here. So yeah, good win, good 3 points for Villa.
Some breaking news from Man United fans. Rest bit in the private chat. The second Qatari bid is for Man United is in. I understand Sheki remains confident, fully engaged. So yeah, they've made a second bid. The Qataris. So when will we find out if they accept it?
I don't think we'll find out now, but I think
Yeah, of course.
we should get back before the end of the month. I think we should know before the end of the month. But listen, I think obviously, to be honest, it ain't breaking because both Ratcliffe and him have put with. Now I think Glaze now what they're gonna do is Glaze and the Rainy group. What they're gonna see, they're gonna evaluate which bid is considerable. But for me, listen, just pick the highest bid, and it's clearly Sheikh Jassim, so accept it. And Ryan, why are you shaking your face, bro?
Ryan, why do you want them? Don't want them to
No,
get the
listen. Right, I'm not going to go too much into this, but I do not agree with the Qataris coming in. I'm afraid. I know that I've got an outside point of view here. I see it as Jim Ratcliffe is the local businessman. I think he would be the best suitor. And I think that Man United, I don't particularly like the fact that I didn't agree with the Newcastle Qatari ownership coming in. I don't agree with these. You cannot trust these people that come into from. I'm sorry, but I just don't particularly like them. I don't really. You have to. Morally, I think you have to go with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and he's the answer to.
I won't be happy with that.
Yeah, listen.
No, it's fine. No. It's not that
Money isn't everything. Money isn't everything at the end of the day, and I'm sorry, but the reality is you can't. It's proven in time gone by that money doesn't solve everything. Look at PSG. Look at PSG spending money left, right, centre, and they still are nowhere near where they want to be. Chelsea spending so much money, where they're nowhere. So I think you have to put some context into this, and I do believe that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the best suitor going for. I'm sorry, but it's controversial. I've seen on social media that a lot of people want the Qataris in just because of all the money they've got, and they're saying they're going to do this, that, and other. But the reality is...
Do you want the Qataris, Toby?
what I actually want is there's a keyword competence or competency. Whoever to me or for me, I don't care provided either Sir Jim Ratcliffe or the Qataris they come out to they don't just bluff. They don't just say empty words, if you know what I mean. And of course,
Yeah.
Ryan has a point. So I'm trying to be neutral. That's the situation. That's where I find myself. I'm trying to be neutral because you look at PSG, you look at Man City, you know, in spite of the monies they have, they've not won the Champions League. They've not tested real success. And of course, you can't blame these contemporary young Manchester United fans like us. We've suffered enough. We've seen enough from the Glazers. We've seen them suck us dry. We've seen them take dividends out of the club. We've seen them enrich their pockets. So I can understand the excitement in terms of the Qataris and the kind of money that they have when it comes to Manchester United fans, to Manchester United. I quite understand, if you know what I mean. But like Ryan rightly said, morally, of course, he has a point. And if you look at it from other angles, in that can it guarantee you success? There's a big question mark because there are instances, of course, there are existing clubs, existing instances. We've seen PSG get knocked out, I think, so early, previous seasons before now, and it's likely they will still sack, Galatia, the existing manager. So money is actually not the problem. Obviously, Sergeant Ratcliffe, if he comes in, obviously he will definitely have a lot of money to engage in transfer dealings and every other thing, same as the Qataris. So let's just hope, and we have to come to reality. Manchester United fans have to come to reality that there's what they call the FFP rules, and of course they can't just come into the club and start spending millions, start spending billions. Obviously, they have to adhere to that rule. You know what I mean? So for me, like I said, I'm neutral, and I can't wait to get these Blazers out of the club. And I think
Yeah.
the stock price is for the club right now. I think is on a high, and the value of the club right now is around about 3 points. Is it 2 or 7? 3 point something billion pounds right now. That's the value.
Whoa.
So you can imagine the Glazers wanting double of that amount. It's insane. It's crazy. If you know what I mean, it's crazy. So let's see how
Yeah.
it goes. But we should guide. I urge every Manchester United fans to consciously and cautiously, guide their excitement so that they will not get disappointed at the end of the day.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about one more game, then wrap it up. Nottingham Forest 1, Newcastle 2. We'll start with you, Ryan. Good win for Newcastle. Forest, but I don't think they'll go down. They'll stay up. A team I thought would go down. They might go down. Where are they in the table?
They're near the relegation, so they're in it. They're well in it. Trust me on
Yeah,
that one.
they're in the boat. Yeah. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the game then? Good win for Newcastle.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch the game. I decided against watching it, but obviously, Forest went ahead, didn't they? And then obviously Newcastle came back from what I believe happened. Good win for Newcastle and Forest. Yeah, they're in real trouble, really. Forest are in bad form, really, and obviously, they're gonna have to start winning games because, especially at home as well, their home games, of course, will be crucial. So they obviously blowing a lead like this is really poor, really, and I can't say I'm unhappy about it because, as you know, I don't like Forest and I hope they do go down. But and I have got them to go down actually.
They might go down.
I do think they will potentially go down if I'm honest with you. But yeah, good win for Newcastle. They definitely needed this win. Newcastle, obviously. In their form going into this game, the form wasn't that great. I don't think going into maybe I can't remember to be fair. I'm probably speaking, but obviously they dropped out the top four, so their form hasn't been the best of late. So they needed a win just to keep touching distance with Tottenham. But obviously they have got a couple of games in hand on Tottenham as well. They've got 2 games. So good win for Newcastle, and it was very pleasing to see Forest lose. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Moving on to next, Toby. What's your thoughts on the game? Toby?
Okay.
He's
Yeah,
on
Mike,
mute.
you-
You're on mute.
Yeah, oh,
Oh,
there you
Okay. Okay. All right. So well, it's a good win actually for Newcastle. And you look at the kind of team they have. Obviously, they don't really have. They have average players to be fair, but I think Eddie Howe is making good use of that team. And it's quite surprising, it's quite shocking because they've not really gone deep into the transfer market and they've not really gotten much quality players. But the ability for them to make do of that squad and to get results, it's surprising to me, or it's surprising for me. And I really don't know what is happening with that team. Because imagine when this Qatari, I'm sorry, when the Abu Dhabis, when they start,
Yeah.
going into the transfer market, that will be very, very scary. But it's still fair enough to to try to commend that team, because Forest were ahead and it's quite shocking how they bottled up the lead, allowing Newcastle coming
Yeah.
from behind to win the game. So it's really, really shocking, and it's disastrous. You look at you look at Nottingham Forest, for instance. Of course, before the start of the season, they were amongst the clubs in the Premier League who spent a lot of money. They spent a lot of money in terms of transfer activity. You look at the kind of players they brought in, and they still have a couple of players who, for me, I think they are not supposed to be in Nottingham Forest. They're not supposed to play for Nottingham Forest. So you can expect, or we expect a lot. We expect a lot from them, but it was quite unfortunate actually. Defensively they were not up to the task, and I think they lack quality in terms of attacking wise, conceding some kind of awful goals, lacking concentration, and Newcastle they were able to deal with them in that regard. And Isak, good kudos to him. Obviously he
Oh
was
yeah.
sidelined. I think he was sidelined for a couple of games in the Premier League, and he's back. He's back, and he scored superb goals. So Newcastle, they are a threat actually. In terms of making the top four, and kudos to them. Kudos to them. They were outstanding, and the reaction. What's more important is how you react. When you are a goal down, when it seems you're losing a match, how do you react? And Newcastle, they proved everyone right that they are in for competition to compete at the highest level. So kudos to Newcastle.
Yep. And
Nottingham
finally,
Forest,
rest.
Nottingham Forest right now, they have to, I think they're in the relegation. I
Yeah.
think they're second to last. I don't know. Or are they?
They're
no, no, no,
six-
no, no.
They're
The-
16th, are they?
yeah, the
Brian?
2 points off the drop. Yeah, the 2 point. Oh no, hang on.
Okay,
They're 2 points away. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
2 points
I
away.
do think they'll go down actually. I do think
Yeah,
they will.
yeah.
No,
I
I
think
do
so.
think
Yeah.
they go down. Yeah, and it's just a bit of
Yeah.
karma for them as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Finally, moving on to your rest. Thoughts on Newcastle beating Forest 2-1.
Yeah, good win for Newcastle. Obviously, they had to bounce back from last week, so it was a good win for Newcastle. Obviously, Nottingham Forest. I think they will go down. I think they will.
Yeah. Yep.
For me, I just don't see. I don't rate the manager, to be fair. I don't think that with the amount of signings they've made, I don't think he's done quite well, to be fair. So that's one thing that Forest fans should look at. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see. They've got the signings that they've made. It's enough, but they just don't
Yeah.
start regularly. So for me,
Yeah.
I think they will go down. But yeah, good win for
It's
Newcastle.
too many. They've made too many
Too
signings,
many.
don't you think? Though
Too many.
too many
Yeah,
signings.
they've
Yeah.
They made
way-
22 signings.
It's too
Yeah,
much.
Yeah.
of course.
Too
I
much.
I
Yeah.
mentioned it, and
And
they have
obviously
scored. They have
Newcastle.
players.
Yeah,
So probably it's the manager. Probably the manager doesn't
probably
know
the
how
manager.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he doesn't know. I
Yeah,
think he needs
definitely.
to
And
be
obviously
smart.
we've got Newcastle after the international break, so it's going to be interesting to see
Yeah.
how,
I
see how
think
that.
they've gone on a winning look like they haven't won a game in a while now. So
And
I don't see.
we've got them away, so it's
Yeah,
going to be
they've
tough.
got tough games as well. They've got Arsenal at home, Chelsea away, Liverpool away, Man United at home. So they've got some tough games. I don't think they're staying. I thought earlier on in the season, I definitely thought they were staying up because they were like 13th at one point, I think, and they were doing quite well. But yeah, they dropped off a bit, and they haven't really won many games. They've lost quite a lot of games. How many? They've lost 13 games out of 28. So yeah, I think it'll probably be Southampton, Bournemouth, and Forest. I think going down, but it could be anyone really. Leicester could go down maybe.
Yeah, it's
Everton
very
possibly.
tight. Yeah,
Yeah, very tight.
very
Yeah.
tight.
We won't talk about the games. We'll end soon. Obviously, Brentford drew 1-1 against Leicester. And Wolves obviously lost to Leeds 2-0. I did predict Wolves to win that one actually. And Man City beating Burnley 6-0 as well in the FA Cup. So I'm predicting a Manchester derby in the final, and hopefully City can get the win. I mean, the United could get the win. You never know, but I fancy. The only reason why is because Man United are catching up Arsenal for the most FA Cups won. Arsenal won 14 and Man United won 12. So if they were to win, they'd be one away from us. So that's why I don't want them to win. Come on, Man City. Yeah, we're gonna end the stream now. We've gone over the hour mark. Of course, after the stream, we do socials. So we'll start with you, Toby. Where can we find you on YouTube and Instagram?
Yeah, of course, you can find me on Instagram _MUFC Global. You know, I run the fantastic Manchester United fan page. You know what I mean? And of course, my personal account, you know, Toby Mikey, TOBMIKEY on Instagram. So that's where you can find me.
And YouTube,
Big
you
up
have
to you,
YouTube?
Oli. And yeah, of course, I have a YouTube, MUFC Global, but for now, it's I'm definitely inactive for now. Yeah.
Oh,
Big
okay.
up.
Big up, big up. Moving on to you, Ryan. Of course, where can we find you on socials? Obviously, Instagram, anywhere else, or YouTube?
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, of course, Huddersfield Town Fan TV. I'm doing a watch along to the England game tomorrow night, so that'll be good. So obviously, but yeah, anyway, you can find me on my socials, Instagram and Twitter, HGFTV8 as well. So yeah, appreciate everybody that supports me. But yeah, big up for having me on.
Yeah, big up, Ryan. And last but not least, Arrest, of course. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me R64 on YouTube, R64 on Instagram, and yeah, man, big up family on.
Big up, guys, big up. And finally, on to me. Obviously, you can catch me here, DJ SINCLAIRO, on YouTube. Make sure, guys, like and subscribe if you're watching this on a replay. Make sure you like the stream. I am going to be taking a bit of a break now, probably like a 2-week break because of the England. Obviously, I do have faith in England. I just don't really want to do England content. I want to stick to Premier League content. Elsewhere, Ollie.careful46 is my main account on Instagram. Go follow me there on the road to 700 followers. And then on the road to 500 on @Ramsdale fan page 1. Apart from that, Ollie556 on TikTok. Anywhere else, message my main account for any other socials. But big up everyone for joining. Of course, England playing Italy tomorrow. Come on, England, even though I think we're going to lose. But we'll wait and see. Hopefully we get the win.
Hopefully Luke Shaw doesn't get injured.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Of course.
And hopefully Bukayo Saka doesn't get injured as well. Yeah, of course. But what's your score prediction, Ryan, for the game England-Italy?
I mean, it's going to be tight, of course. I think we're due a win, you know, and I think it would be bittersweet to get some revenge on those Italians that can't stand, of course. So I'm probably going to go for a 2-1 England. I think Italy will score, but I think we'll just win. But yeah.
What about you, Orest?
1-1.
Toby?
2-1. England.
2-1 to who? England. Yeah.
England.
I'm going with a 2-1 as well. Let's get revenge on them after the Euro final. I mean, yeah, let's try and qualify for the Euros. I mean, it's next year. I don't think we're going to do well. But it'd be nice to be in the competition. I think if we've
got a good squad, but the manager.
If we have Southgate in the Euros, I don't think we'll.
To be fair, obviously, last thing before you do end it, how the hell Calvin Phillips? He only got 46 minutes this season, and he's got called up. So
but I don't get as well. How is he calling up Maguire if he doesn't even get in the Man United team? Like,
Maguire performs in English. He plays well. But obviously, I know we're talking about Oli. I know we're talking about I know this season. Southgate, listen, we'll save this for another stream. But Southgate likes to say plays based on form.
I think Southgate should have gone. Southgate could have gone in the Euros as well.
Agreed. He should have been gone where to go. Yeah.
He should. I can't believe he stayed off.
They should have appointed me, man. I can't believe it.
Yeah, arrest for the England manager. You do a better job than Southgate, but big up everyone for joining as well. We're going to end the stream now. Make sure you guys like as well. Let's get to 20 likes. We did get 10 likes while the stream was on, so big up, guys. Next stream will probably be the Game Week 29 review, reviewing the games there. All the games are back now, so there'll be 10 games. So Man United and Man City will be back. Hopefully Arsenal can get the dub again, and hopefully England get dubs as well. We've got Ukraine coming up as well. That'll probably be easier than Italy. But come on, let's qualify for Euros. Let's try and beat Italy and get revenge on them. Come on, England, obviously. I'm not confident, though, for the Italy game. I'm confident for the Ukraine game. And Wales as well. They're in action. They're playing Croatia. It's going to be tough for them. But yeah, big up everyone joining. Big up Toby. Big up Ryan. Big up Orest. And obviously, big up JBT joining earlier as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to everyone's channels and follow their socials. Yeah, and we'll see you guys in the next stream. Probably a few weeks, of course, with the Game Week 29 review. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Time you stay for me. Outside with news, we give them chills. We ain't the same.